nestled between rolling green hills and a winding river, stood a quiet village called Norpur. Life there was simple and slow. Farmers worked in the fields from sunrise to sunset. Children played beneath shady trees. Families gathered every evening to share stories over warm meals. Yet, despite their peaceful surroundings, many villagers were unhappy. One farmer complained that his land was smaller than his neighbors. A shopkeeper constantly worried that his business was not growing fast enough. Young people spent hours scrolling through their phones, comparing their lives to strangers online. Everyone seemed to believe that happiness was waiting somewhere ahead, in a bigger house, a better job, or a more exciting life. In that village lived an old woman named Fatima. She lived alone in a tiny cottage beside a large banyan tree. Her home was modest. The roof leaked during heavy rain. Her furniture was old. She owned very few possessions. Yet no one had ever seen her unhappy. Every morning she greeted the sunrise with a smile. She watered the flowers outside her home and thanked God for another day. Every afternoon she shared pieces of bread with stray birds and animals. Every evening she sat beside the river and watched the sky change colors as the sun disappeared beyond the horizon. People often wondered how someone with so little could seem so content. One afternoon, a young man named Kareem decided to ask her. Kareem was known throughout the village for his endless dissatisfaction. He dreamed of becoming wealthy and spent most of his time comparing himself to successful people online. When he entered Fatima's cottage, he looked around and frowned. "Grandmother," he said, "don't you ever wish for a better life? You live in a small house. You own almost nothing, and you have no luxuries." Fatima smiled and invited him to sit. She poured tea into 2 worn clay cups and handed one to him. Then she asked, "Tell me, Kareem, if someone gave you a mansion today, would you be completely satisfied forever?" Kareem laughed. "No. After some time, I would probably want an even bigger one." Fatima nodded. "And if you bought your dream car tomorrow, would you never desire another?" Kareem paused. "I suppose I would eventually want a newer model." The old woman smiled gently. "You see, my son, desire is like a river. If you let it control you, it never stops flowing. Many people spend their entire lives chasing the next thing, believing happiness is waiting just around the corner. Meanwhile, they forget to enjoy what is already in their hands." Kareem listened quietly. Fatima pointed to the tea he was drinking. "Some people would be grateful just to have this cup of tea." Then she pointed toward the road outside. "Some people cannot walk that road because they are confined to a hospital bed." Finally, she placed a hand on his shoulder. "And some people would give everything they own just to spend one more day with someone they love." For the first time, Kareem had no answer. A few weeks later, an unexpected drought struck the region. The river shrank. Crops began to dry out. Wells produced less water each day. Fear spread throughout the village. People worried constantly about their farms, their savings, and their future. Kareem became anxious as well. Much of his family's harvest was at risk. One evening, as villagers gathered in the town square discussing their troubles, they noticed Fatima sitting beneath the banyan tree. She looked calm as ever. One frustrated villager approached her. "How can you remain so peaceful?" he asked. "The drought is hurting everyone. Aren't you worried?" Fatima looked around at the anxious faces and replied softly, "Of course I see the difficulty, but worry cannot bring back the rain." The crowd fell silent. Then she continued, "I can choose to spend my days fearing what I may lose, or I can be thankful for what still remains." The villagers listened carefully. Fatima raised a small basket. "Today I still have food." She pointed toward the sky. "I still have another day to live." Then she smiled. "And I still have people around me who care for one another." Her words spread throughout the village. Over time, many people began changing their perspective. Instead of complaining about what they lacked, they started noticing what they already possessed. Kareem changed the most. He stopped spending hours comparing himself to strangers online. He helped neighbors carry water during the drought. He spent more evenings with his parents. He became grateful for simple moments he had previously ignored. Months later, the rains finally returned. The fields became green again, and the village slowly recovered. But something more important had changed. The villagers still worked hard. They still pursued their goals and dreams. However, they now understood a lesson they had never truly grasped before. There is nothing wrong with wanting a better future. The danger comes when you become so focused on what is missing that you fail to appreciate what is already present. One evening, as the sun set over the river, Kareem sat beside Fatima. "I used to believe happiness would come after I achieved everything I wanted," he said. Fatima smiled. "No, my son, happiness is not the reward at the end of the journey. It is the way you choose to walk the journey itself." Years later, after Fatima had passed away, the villagers still remembered her wisdom. Whenever someone became jealous, they remembered her. Whenever someone complained too much, they remembered her. Whenever someone forgot the blessings already surrounding them, they remembered her. And people would gently say, "Think of Grandmother Fatima." Almost always peace would find its way back into their hearts. What can we learn from this story? Many people spend their lives chasing what they do not have, while overlooking the gifts already present around them. A better house, a bigger salary, or greater success will never create lasting happiness if your mind remains focused only on what is missing. Gratitude is not about settling for less. It is about recognizing the value of what you already possess. Dream big, work hard, pursue your goals, but never become so obsessed with the future that you forget to appreciate the beauty of today. Because one day, the ordinary things you overlook now may become the very things you wish you could have back.
Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.